The Whispering Woods. Once upon a time, there was a family who loved adventures. There was Dad, Mom, little Timmy, and his big sister Sarah. They decided to go camping in a forest away from the city. The trees were tall, and the air was fresh. They felt excited as they set up their tents and gathered around a burning campfire. As night fell, the family roasted marshmallows over the fire and told stories. Suddenly, they heard soft whispering voices coming from the darkness beyond the campfire's glow. Dad looked at Mom, and Mom looked at the children. They all heard it. At first, they thought it was just the wind rustling through the leaves, but the whispers grew louder and more clear. "What's that sound?" Timmy asked, his voice trembling. "I don't know, sweetie," Mom replied, trying to sound calm. "Maybe it's just the trees talking to each other." But Sarah wasn't convinced. "It sounds like someone's whispering," she said, her eyes wide with fear. The family looked at each other worriedly. Unsure of what to do, the whispers seemed to be calling to them, urging them into the darkness of the woods. And as they listened, they realized that the whispers carried a creepy message. "Come closer. Come closer." Curiosity made the family restless as they exchanged worried looks. Dad finally stood up, brushing off his pants. "Let's go take a look," he said, trying to sound brave. Mom nodded unsurely, and the children followed suit, their hearts pounding with anticipation. They walked carefully into the darkness, the whispering voices growing louder with each step. The trees looked like they were leaning closer, casting strange shadows that moved around in the unsteady light of their flashlights. Branches brushed against their faces, and the forest floor crunched under their feet. After what felt like hours of walking, they came across an open area in the forest. Tombstones, covered in moss and climbing plants, were scattered around, and a coldness went down their backs. Suddenly, they heard a faint moaning sound, and it felt like there was something strange and mysterious. Sarah cried out in surprise as ghost-like figures appeared in front of them. The figures glowed faintly in the moonlight. They seemed to be see-through and otherworldly, their faces contorted in pain. They stretched out their ghostly hands towards the family, their voices filled with sadness and rage. "Who are you?" Dad demanded, his voice trembling with fear. "We are the Forgotten Ones," one of the spirits whispered, its voice echoing in the stillness of the night. "Trapped between worlds, cursed to wander these woods for all eternity." The family crowded together, too scared to move as the ghosts surrounded them. They slowly understood with dread that they had awakened something very old and angry, and now they were helpless against powers they couldn't even imagine. Heart pounding, Dad took a step back, clutching his family close. "We didn't mean any harm," he stammered, his voice barely above a whisper. "Please let us go." But the spirits showed no mercy, their awful forms closing in around the scared family. With nowhere to run, they held their ground, preparing themselves for whatever nightmares awaited them. Sarah squeezed Timmy's hand tightly, her eyes darting around frantically. Just when it seemed like all hope was lost, Mom's flashlight spotted something shiny in the dark, silver pendant half buried in the forest floor. Acting on instinct, she reached out and grabbed it firmly in her trembling hand. Suddenly, a bright light filled the clearing, chasing the spirits back into the shadows. The pendant glowed with an otherworldly energy, its power driving the vengeful ghosts away. With a collective gasp of relief, the family watched as the spirits disappeared into the night, their whispers fading into silence. Shaken but alive, the family clung to each other, grateful to have escaped the clutches of the haunted woods. As the first light of dawn broke through the trees, they made their way back to their campsite, determined to put the terrifying ordeal behind them. From that day on, they never spoke of the Whispering Woods again, but the memory of their encounter with the restless spirits would haunt their dreams for years to come. And as they drove away from the forest, they knew that some secrets were best left undisturbed, hidden away in the depths of the darkness where they belonged. And so, with the dawn of a new day, the family left the haunted woods behind them, their bond stronger than ever, and their hearts filled with gratitude for the light that had guided them safely home.